Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I have a ton of DC updates for you today, and it really all comes from the Vulcan Reporter because it's a lot of stuff coming to HBO Max, which is really exciting. Also, Wonder Woman 1984 as well. But before I get into all of that, I have to thank my newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you to Uber Mensch 1938. I hope I said that correctly, but thank you so much for joining the Ping Pong Flix members family. And I also appreciate all the subscribers as well. All right, let's get into the updates. The first topic of the day is Peacemaker series is to have multiple seasons. So this is coming from the Vulcan Reporter. HBO Max's Peacemaker series planned to have multiple seasons. And that's interesting to hear that. It sounds like it's, going well, and there's a lot of story they could tell with that. I'm kind of shocked and surprised by that. And I'm wondering how it's really going. Like, does James Gunn actually have just only Peacemaker, or is he this really talking about like multiple Suicide Squad members having their own story here? But for now, it seems like there's going to be multiple seasons for Peacemaker. John Cena and James Gunn working together. In some of the comments, James Gunn actually looked at that and he just did this with a wink or a smile. So it's kind of like, what does that mean? It almost sounds like he's not actually saying no to that, and it's possible that it is truly happening. If that's the case, then they must have quite a project on their hands. But that's not all from the Vulcan Reporter, and I want to actually bring up DC Versal because DC Versal pulled out great images and stuff like that, and I love those guys. But apparently, HBO Max also has 15 to 18 DC series in production. Yeah, according to the Vulcan Reporter, HBO Max is going to have 15 and 18 to 18 DC-centric series in production, right? Wow. So I mean, I can't even count all that. I don't have enough fingers for that. So it's like, we know the Green Lantern is coming. We know, there was mention about J.J. Abrams doing Justice League Dark. We know there's the Peacemaker, and we also know there's Gotham PD. And there's rumors about Black Canary and all so on and so forth. But really, that is amazing to hear that. Like, I'm always wondering, like, come on, this is at this moment in time, and some events, maybe an HBO Max event, like an HBO Max fandom, where they're going to do like Disney, right? They're going to have that Disney investors meeting, kind of like that, and just bust it all out, just like a timeline full of flashcards or intros or just the titles, and just talking about, we're going to have this, and we're going to have this, we're going to have this, we're going to, in 15 to 18 DC series coming straight to HBO Max. Take that, Disney Plus, but no, nothing like that has happened yet. CCXP would have been a great opportunity for that, but so it didn't happen. But never know. We could have an HBO Max fandom soon, in which when they square all this away and they start putting it in, and then they can actually announce that as well, what those series are. And I'm wondering, because a lot of the DC Universe series are also going over to HBO Max, so I'm kind of wondering if the 15 to 18 DC series in production aren't necessarily new, like Titans, Young Justice, Harley Quinn, those other shows as well. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's not quite new series per se, but it could still add up to it, because that would be still exciting to see those series continues as well. But what other series? Well, the Vulcan Reporter did mention a few ones here. The first one would be Lobo and the Question were apparently in development. Yeah, there was interesting, because it was in development, but at this point there is no news about them for a long time. But I think he's counting those two as part of the 15 to 18 as well. The Question absolutely would be interesting. Not sure if this would be a spin-off of Renee Montoya and Birds of Prey, or its own thing. Also, Lobo. We've heard Lobo was supposed to have a movie at one point with Michael Bay attached. That's not happening apparently, and now it's going to be another series for HBO Max. So I could definitely see any of these happening. Preferably, like Question, that would be cool. Noir, crime, gritty, but Lobo is probably where I want to go with it, and especially if it's going to take place outside of Earth, like I've been mentioning so many times before. I need these series, I need these DC content to go outside of Earth. I want them to go somewhere else. Just go travel. There's thousands, millions of worlds out there that they could explore and have these characters go outside the earthly realm here just for a bit. And so I think Lobo would probably be one of those characters that could probably do that. So either of those was awesome. More variety. I would totally love to see that happen. But there's other known ones like Gotham PD. But now it's Vulcan reporters saying that one of the villains of the Batman will actually be the main antagonist of the Gotham PD series, actually Gotham PD, and Amre Kea, who is part of Vulcan Reporter, also said that the title is definitely going to be Gotham PD, as it's a police procedural, and I don't know who would be the villain. I mean, there could keep it not with any of the villains, the actual like super villains where Batman's rogues gallery, and just have to be stuck with like crime bosses and stuff. But that'd be interesting to see. Maybe have Commissioner Gordon and the police try to figure out a crime without having Batman involved, a smaller story, or does it connect to the Batman? Like the Batman's going on and he's doing his own thing, and they're just popping in and out, like doing the CSI parts of the actual story. I don't know, but that is interesting to hear for fans of the Batman. That's great because you get to watch the Batman movies, the Batman theaters, and then you also get to experience some of the a spin-off of the same world on HBO Max as well. So that's cool. Another one that's also from the Batman that is in development is apparently Catwoman. Catwoman series, Vulcan reporter confirms that Catwoman series is in fact under development. Zoe Kravitz, of course, plays Catwoman in the Batman. What I would probably think she's been doing it maybe a little bit for maybe about a year or so. She doesn't exactly have a great costume or suit yet, but that's probably part of the growth or the evolution of the character. Maybe she starts off as this, and in the Catwoman series she evolves into the Catwoman we all know. So that could essentially happen as well. So it doesn't clearly say, is this before the Batman or during the Batman or after the Batman. My guess would be after the Batman would be where these spin-offs take place. But that's not all, though. There's one more that I want to talk about that was confirmed by the Vulcan reporter, is that Constantine series is in fact in development at HBO Max, and we don't know who's going to be in it. I remember hearing that J.J. Abrams was doing Justice League Dark. He was going to do a spin-off series like Constantine as Zatanna as well, so that's great. Is it anything connected to, the Keanu Reeves Constantine? Because, Peter Stormare did confirm that there is a sequel in development. Daniel RPK also said there was a sequel in development as well with Keanu Reeves in the project as well as, Constantine 2. Was it a mix-up? Were they actually talking about a Constantine series on HBO Max with the original cast returning? Or is this something else altogether? I mean, this is a multiverse, so you can have many different Batmans, you can have many different Supermans and Flash. Why not? You can have many different Constantines where there is. There's Matt Ryan and there's Keanu Reeves. They could have that and maybe a third new Constantine for the HBO Max world. So there's definitely possibilities for both, but it's exciting to hear that Constantine is getting some love. It's getting some more love, and now it's going to be on HBO Max. So I really hope HBO Max fandom or something actually happens where we get to see a lot of these series be announced, because I would love to see. I just love to, DC fans having confidence in DC in terms of this medium. There's a lot of people who love this side, and I'm one of them, and I just want to everybody to embrace it. And I think having them announce and be confident in their products and projects, and just come out and say, this is what's happening, this is what's going to do, this is where our entire slate, that would be the world, mean the world to a lot of the fans as well, and gain our confidence in the DC DC project. So hopefully they'll do that, and maybe early next year, perhaps we could start to see more things developing after this whole Wonder Woman 1984, and of course Zack Snyder's Justice League. So this is a little update, and I think I talked about this yesterday, but Snyder himself and Debbie over on Vero put this out. This movement is so powerful. Thank you for all of your amazing fundraising efforts to support the AFSP. This is important. This is absolutely epic, and this is the biggest thing for the Justice League, the Snyder Cut, and this is the one that matters to the Snyders the most, is the AFSP, the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, in honor of Autumn Snyder. It has reached 500,000. So thank you. Zack Snyder says thank you. The AFSP also says thank you. Debbie says thank you. They all say thank you. But it's thanks to you guys, all of you guys who donated and chipped in, like even as small as 50 cents or even $1, helped toward this goal. But it's not over. It's continuation. It's the next quota is going to be 1 million. So Deborah Snyder says, let's reach 1 million. And that's exactly what's hopefully going to happen. So if you haven't yet, I'm going to put down in the description down below, once again, a donation to the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund. And then maybe I'll even put a donation link, also a donation button that you can click on donate and continue to donate to the American Foundation on Suicide Prevention. So thank you so much for all of your support, and let's keep the fight going. All right, now there's something that I totally missed yesterday. I think I may have mentioned a little bit, but I totally missed it. But John Doe movie, Zack Snyder was on John Doe movie reviews, and Zack Snyder talked a little bit about the Batman versus Deathstroke movie. So Comic Book Now pulled it up, but I want to emphasize this interview was on John Doe movie reviews. Zack Snyder went over to the Spanish community and talked a little bit with them. And he also mentioned something about the Ben Affleck Deathstroke, Batman Deathstroke movie. So this is what I wanted to pull out the quote. He said this: "Look, I would love for Ben to make that Deathstroke movie. That would be amazing," Snyder told John Doe movie reviews. "I don't know that he's going to, or that studio Warner Brothers, want him to, but I would love for him to do it. That would be so cool, and Joe is amazing." So which is, it doesn't sound like it. I think if Snyder is in the know, and I don't know if he is, maybe he's just wondering that Ben Affleck would want to or not. I would gather he would talk to Ben Affleck over on the set of additional photographies for Zack Snyder's Justice League, if Ben was actually there. But if he was and he talked about it, and it doesn't sound very confident, does it? That he doesn't know that if he's going to, and he doesn't even think the studio want him to. So, but he himself, like all of us, including myself, every single one of us want him to do that Batman Deathstroke movie. I think that would be so cool as well. And I think Joe Manganiello deserves, and Ben Affleck deserves, to be back as Batman and Deathstroke. That would mean the world to the fans. So please, if Ben Affleck, if you're not watching this, but if you are it, you have any just feeling of like, all right, I love being Batman, and I would totally want to see that. I totally want to be that again. I want to explore that Batman versus Deathstroke movie. That would be awesome. So I hope so. And even though Snyder doesn't seem confident that that actually happened, but he would love for him to do it. And you never know. I mean, Ben, come on, just put on the suit. And Zack Snyder. How about getting Zack Snyder to direct it for you? There you go. So it'll free you up to just get on the set. Maybe not. Maybe you're like, well, I don't want to fight, so you just get Richard Citrone or David Carroll come in and do the fight scenes and do a lot of those things, and you just come in as Bruce Wayne and some talking points with the costume on. I don't know. I'm just trying to say here, but hey, it's on. It's up to you. And but we truly absolutely love to see if that could definitely happen. So hopefully it does. Maybe Zack Snyder can convince him to do so as well. All right. Well, that's not coming out yet, hopefully, and maybe one day it will. But definitely Zack Snyder's Justice League is coming out next year. But even closer is Wonder Woman 1984. And so some people were kind of curious. Well, it came out in theaters internationally on December 16th, right? Because it hasn't come down here in the US until the 25th, which is this Christmas, which I'm really excited. I got it all set up. I can't wait to watch it. But Wonder Woman 1984 international box office numbers. I'm going to pull up Luis Fernando, who said this. Actual opening weekend for Wonder Woman 1984 at the box office are in. Just slightly under Warner Brother estimates. Wonder Woman 1984 had an actual 38.2 million international opening over 32 markets, as 3 countries crossed 100,000 less than estimated. China with 18.7, Taiwan with 3.5, and the UK with 1.1. So here's the updated top Wonder Woman 1984 markets of the box office so far as of Sunday. Now, honestly, to a lot of people, that's not that great. Like it will like only make, what was it, 30 something 30, it ultimately only makes 30 something in China, which is far cry from what they're probably expecting, like in the 100 million range. But hey, it's pandemic. Not many people want to go to theaters right now. There are people in China who actually said that is like that's not one of it's not everybody wanting to go to theaters. So there is something like that, especially here in the U.S. I mean, this is the whole reason why Warner Brothers wasn't confident in just doing a theatrical run. They would wanted to split it with HBO Max, right? So unfortunate for this, it is what it is. COVID-19, there's some talk about new strains and things. It's ugly. It's totally ugly for the box office. It's totally ugly for theaters. But movie business still has to survive. And so we got to thank the streaming service for actually having the capabilities for putting out these movies straight to your home at the same time, and they're actually offering simultaneous release as well. The bad part is hopefully these studios learn to tell the content creators a little bit earlier, just like having that negotiation done, not just drop it and like in 90 minutes from when they were going to announce, right? So that's why I want to talk about Patty Jenkins a little bit. She talked to New York Times and a little bit about HBO Max and Wonder Woman 3. So this is from New York Times. And it sounds almost like she may not come back, but hear me out. Hear this out, actually. After the pandemic, oh wait, not this part. When did you finally get the call about the release on HBO Max? And Patty Jenkins says this. 2 or 3 weeks before we announced it. It was weird because the whole year I was afraid of that, and everybody at the studio kept saying, no way, we'll never do that because you have to make so much money with this thing. So when they suggested it, I was shocked. We did not agree right away. It was a very, very long process. I don't know what they would have let us disagree based on and what they've been doing now. But I was conveniently into it for this movie. Okay, but Warner Brothers has said this is a one-year plan to send all its releases to HBO Max, but not everyone is convinced. Can the genie be put back in the bottle? And she said this: I would like to believe that it is temporary, but I'm not sure I do. But I'll tell you, some studios going to go back to the traditional model and cause tremendous upheaval in the industry because every great filmmaker is going to go work there. And the studios that make this radical change of moving their theatrical releases to a streaming service, particularly without consulting the artist, will end up with a very empty slate of quality filmmakers working there. Now, to me, that just sounds very like, look, you guys pissed me off, so I'm gonna leave. And you expect others will leave as well to go to a direction that there will be theatrical movies, and one of those is that she's directing the Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron, right? So that's not Disney Plus. That was actually an actual movie, I believe. So that is something along more to her liking because of the theatrical model. She's very for the theatrical model. Now, I don't know if this is going to go down and this is not going to go away. I would expect that other studios will probably start going towards the streaming model as well. And so it will be very far and few between to see any major studios will take a risk at not trying to go to streaming. Because if Warner Brothers, which is one of the biggest, one of the biggest studios out there, is going to do that, Disney is starting to slowly do that. Now, they're not doing it like how Warner Brothers is. They're not like announcing like this whole entire slate is going. They're doing it one at a time, right? They're doing it. Okay, Soul is now simultaneous release. Okay. Now next one, Raya is now simultaneous release. They could essentially do that slowly, one by one, so as not to make such a big deal about it. But it doesn't mean they're not going to do it. They're already starting to do that as well. So I think other bigger studios will start to do that as well, depending on if we can get out of this. So, and if we can't get out of this, then maybe there's a chance. But I don't know. In regards to Wonder Woman 3. So New York Times asks, you're directing the Star Wars movie Rogue Squadron next. After that, do you still plan to direct a third Wonder Woman film? She said this: we'll see what happens. I really don't know. I know that I'd love to do the third one if the circumstances were right and there was still a theatrical model possible. I don't know that I would if there wasn't. So it does sound like that's her criteria. If Warner Brothers is willing to give her a theatrical model for Wonder Woman 3, unlike what they're doing now with Wonder Woman 1984, then she'd say yes. And obviously that part is kind of up in the air. They're not telling her what's going to happen past 2021. She's probably not telling anybody what's going to happen past 20. I mean, they're saying that it is just a one-year deal, guys. It's just a one-year deal. But honestly, if it works well, they're gaining a lot of subscribers on HBO Max. It's going to continue this route. It's just business, right? But are they going to have artists who like that? And obviously, Patty Jenkins is not one of them. And right now, she went over to Disney to make Rogue Squadron. And at first, I was like, well, no, wait a minute. She's doing. It's okay. A lot of directors work for different studios all the time. It's not a big deal. But her comments there does sound like she's not going to come back until, Warner Brothers agree to the third one being a theatrical model, right? So she's kind of holding them there. But hey, I don't know. A lot of people on social media right now are saying, well, if she's not going to come back, she's not going to come back. There could be someone else who would pick up Wonder Woman 3. And it happens all the time. Sometimes the third movie is never the same director. Christopher Nolan, of course, directed all three. Sam Raimi directed all three. But look at J.J. Abrams, right? He only directed the first two Star Trek and left the third one. So it's like there are possibilities that might happen. And if that's the case, well, at least we'll get Wonder Woman 3. but anyway, hoping, something happened positive about that. I think Wonder Woman deserves to have another one out, another solo outing, especially one in the present time. So let's hope that actually happens. But we're talking about Wonder Woman, and I just want to point out that Wonder Woman 1984 is dropping on December 25th, now with an actual time. So it's in theaters December 25th and streaming the same day at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, exclusively on HBO Max. It's also available on HBO Max in the US only for 31 days from its release and no extra cost to subscribers. No PVOD. Once you already have HBO Max, you can watch it 31 days. 31 days after Christmas, you can continue watching it over and over, which I probably will, because I want to give you a good breakdown and review of it, everything, reaction, whatever, and we can talk about it as well. But December 25th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, that is 7 a.m. my time in Hawaii, because we're 2 hours ahead. Behind. And so we're definitely gonna have a Christmas breakfast with Wonder Woman 1984 on the television. So it'll be exciting. I'm really excited. I can't wait for this Friday to watch Wonder Woman 1984, the next big DC film, because we are in dire need of more. All right, well, that is it for all the topics. Let's get into the Ping Pong Flix members' questions. Like I said, if you want me to read your comment or question on this video, please join as a member down below, and then put a comment or a question down below on this video, and I'll read it on the next video. Also, just a heads up, I'm probably going to do a Justice League a live. I don't know if it's going to be a live watch or just for members. So I'm going to have to play that by ear, but I'm going to try to do that. And I just want to roast the heck out of that thing, because as we get into New Year, might as well just, wash it away one more time. Because a lot of, there are people who have asked me, would I want to do that? And yeah, that would be kind of cool. I was thinking we were going to do with a bunch of people, but I don't know if that's going to happen still yet on the vodka stream. I don't know if Dave's going to do that, but if not, maybe I'll just do it for the members. I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see. But let's get on with the members' comments and questions right now. George, hi, Chris. Congrats on the interview with Zack again. 2 big interviews. Nice. And yes, Zack dropped lots of stuff regarding Zack Snyder's Justice League, maybe more than I would have liked. The whole Deck the Hall programs was awesome. I watched most of it. Sadly, I had to go to work and slept through the last 4 streams, but was able to catch up the following day. I'm so hyped for this movie series, or however it comes out, but I just want to point out his comments about AT&T being all on the marketing. I think we're going to get some really cool SHIT right up to its release, and also I'm saving for my Darkseid and Black Superman suit figures. Once again, congrats to everyone involved on the day and for crossing the 500,000 mark for AFSP. Amazing. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And thanks for, being a part of that. Thanks to everyone who donated. Definitely on point with the whole marketing. If they are actually treating it like an actual movie, which it is. I can't wait for that toys. I want to see the Darkseid toy. Me too. Black suit Superman. I need a black suit Superman next to him on the red one, and the red and blue one, and then Darkseid some here, about to kill Batman or something. that would be pretty cool. Sean Gates, Chris, your best bet on 4:3 IMAX screens is to check with museums. I'm assuming there's some museums in Honolulu. Yes. Yeah, but they don't have IMAX screens. The best IMAX screens in DC, I live in rural Virginia, and I have to drive at least an hour for true IMAX, are all in various Smithsonian museums, especially the Udvar Hazy Center. That's the second campus of the Aerospace Museum, which was featured in Transformers Revenge of the Fall. Oh, that was cool. They show Hollywood movies in the museum theaters all the time. So if I were you, I'd check with the local science museum or something like that. Now, I can tell you now, that there's a museum called the Bishop Museum, and they've got nothing like that. They've got a cool star auditorium where you can look up and you sit back and you see like the stars and the galaxies, But that's about it. But don't worry, there's 2 theaters with IMAX here on Oahu. That's the Regal Dole Cannery Theater in IMAX. So I'm trying to get in touch with the theater managers. Of course, they're closed because all Regal theaters are closed. That's the corporate mandate. But the consolidated one as well, I have to get in touch with them because that one at Ward Center is also an IMAX, but I got to make sure it's 1431. Also, Zack hosted an event in Hawaii. Well, it's been on my bucket list ever since Tom Selleck put on a tiger's hat and jumped into Robin Masters' Ferrari 308. If I can possibly afford it, I'll fly there in a heartbeat to meet Zack. And you may be able to. Magnum PI is awesome, but you may be able to come down at that, because the tickets are getting cheaper. But as of yet, COVID and things like that, I'm expecting that when this kind of, lightens up, the tickets right now are just, they're trying to get people down here. Their tourism is dead right now. So they definitely are getting really good at tickets right now. So it's definitely a lot cheaper than it was before. The Rebel Prince, Chris, your reaction to Zack's challenge gave me such a good laugh today after a hard day at work and finding out I'm going to be working on Christmas Day. Thank you. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much, Rebel Prince. Yeah. Now I kind of shot that, but essentially that's exactly was my reaction. I was definitely on the phone at that time, and I was just listening to the different streams, and then I heard my name, and I'm like, wait, what? What's going on? Like, what do you want me to do? He was like, so I was kind of like baffled, and I was like, oh my God, yes, I will definitely, I'm on a mission now. I will definitely check that out. I will make it happen, or something. Of course, if they don't have 1431s, then it's not going to happen. But if they do, then I'm definitely going to tell Zack Snyder about it. Big Rooster, Wonder Woman was going to let Ludendorff live. Ludendorff was a real person who started the Nazi movement, and he put Hitler in charge. Wonder Woman left mankind for nearly a century because she felt responsible for the atrocities Nazis did for letting Ludendorff live. It's funny because you mentioned that, because I actually watched Wonder Woman like a few hours ago. I finished watching Wonder Woman. I wanted to just, go back, watch the first one. And yeah, the one thing about that, I was wondering, back, I get it, it's the war. And so people are like, he just killed him because it's a war. But I remember like sitting there and like, everybody has a problem with Superman killing Zod in that war, but they don't have a problem with her killing Ludendorff right now. Like, she's just like, shock. Right through the chest. No problem at all. So it's like, wow, it's so yeah, hypocrisy. Eric Blake, what the metal piece from Junkie XL Zack gave us, I can't help thinking about 300. To that end, I'm reminded of Zack's intended American Revolution film. Just imagine George Washington and boys amid that kind of music. Yeah, that would be pretty cool to see that mixed in. That would be quite something to have that George Washington American Revolution film. Hopefully that will still happen one day. Well, we'll see. But yeah, that metal piece, the more I think about it, the more someone actually pointed out, I think someone tweeted out, but it's like that was probably the trailer. That was probably the next trailer that they kind of tried to put some music into it, and I think that's what it was. So I can't wait to see that next trailer. Eric Blake, agree. Hopefully, when Zack says down the road, he's referring to expanded comic expansions and adaptations of his whole Snyderverse arc, not a comics instead of the live action. Perfect comic title, by the way, Justice League Nightmare. That would be a cool, like a Nightmare series, right? And it was just be how each person got to that point, right? If we don't see that live action, how each person sees that, gets to that point, like a little, because there's going to be a substantial, like 5 years from Justice League, from what happened to the Nightmare. So there's a 5-year gap of different spin-offs and comics and animation and things they could possibly fulfill in that, and I think that would be pretty dope. Jimmy Holly, yes, Swamp Thing season 2, do it. Also, big yes to Air Cut. I think Leto got a bum deal on that. Whatever you may think of the handful of minutes we saw of him deserves another chance, and glad Zack is giving it to him. Pretty crazy Joker reveal too. Yeah, pretty crazy. And yeah, definitely. Hopefully, he gets in touch with Air and starts putting that into motion or something, and we'll have an update on that. That would be definitely something. Eric Blake, worth noting, Whedon also brought in the Russian family thing, as you may recall from his ideas for Avengers 1. In this case, oh, Marvel, you had me cut this from my movie that everybody loves, but if people like it here, joke's on you. Yeah. Like, really, it's just, I mean, that Russian family, I get that they were trying to show civilians in danger and have the heroes serve, but it just didn't work out. Sorry. Here's something I've long found very interesting very interesting. Ever since we found out certain details about the full history lesson in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Ares is the villain in Wonder Woman. He hates humanity and wants it to destroy it itself through war, and yet in the full history lesson, he's the one taking charge and fighting Darkseid. He's arguably the hero here, and yet again, according to Wonder Woman 1, he will later descend into darkness. Anyone else notice the parallel here? In fact, one wonders if the war against Darkseid had casualties amongst the old gods. Perhaps Aphrodite, Ares' lover in Greek mythology, was his world, and she was taken from him. Yeah, could definitely happen. I think that's a really good take on that, really in depth on that, Eric Blake. I'll give you that. Best intro ever, Brent T. Wilson. I don't know. I just thought of it. Like I said, you know what? Let's redo that, like as if it was actually, it was actually happening, because that actually did happen. But I went back and I tried to do the same way, and the same reaction that I had when I actually listened to it over at the dining table. Nicholas Perdikas, hello, Chris. The new trailer for Snyder Cut is possible to come in the first week of 2021 or later. If we don't talk the next days, I wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Well, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too, Nicholas. Definitely the new trailer coming out New Year's or something, right? Like in the beginning month or some fashion would be awesome. Although, I was reading on Twitter, and there were some people who were like, oh, it's going to be bigger. It's not going to be New Year's, but it's going to be bigger than that. And I'm like, what's bigger than New Year's? So someone suggested, Super Bowl is actually on February, like 7th. So that could be bigger. Imagine that. Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer dropping on Super Bowl weekend. I don't know if that's happening, but that sounds pretty big to me as well. But that also means I have to wait a month. But that usually happens, right? Usually it comes out like a month, especially like Netflix or streaming. It doesn't take long until the actual movie comes out, but we'll see. Brandon Hayes, if the comic book expansion of Zack Snyder's Justice League happens and is a success, I hope Warner Bros. And AT&T will consider an anime adaptation of the graphic novel. Those straight-to-video animated features that Warner Bros. Has been doing for the past 4 years just don't work in my view. They're forgettable. If you notice with those animated features, there were plot point story nuggets planted in those animated movies that ended up in Snyder's movies. The idea of Darkseid wanting to harvest human bodies to become parademons was first seen in one of those animated features. But I feel the style of the animation and adult content is just not a good fit or match. When you watch those movies at first, you feel like you're watching something that is mature, but that kids could possibly watch too, and then you quickly see it's edgy PG-13 or borderline rated R with a little cursing sometimes. It's too misleading. They should go the big budget anime route, or if they invite Zack back to do more stories. I feel adding an anime component side story OVA series to the Snyderverse will just expand the brand in the right way. It will help us forget further forget Justice League. I say they should give anime director Kawajiri a call. He worked on classics like Ninja Scroll and Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, and he did an anime adaptation of the classic franchise Highlander called Highlander Search for Vengeance. That style of anime fits the Snyderverse. Just a thought, maybe even invite the actual JO cast to voice the actors would be fitting. Yeah. And I would love to see some animation like that in anime or something like that. I mean, he's doing Army of the Dead, a prequel, right? Lost in Vegas, and it's I think it's CG anime. I may be guessing on that, but like it's definitely animated. So if he's doing that over in Army of the Dead, expanding that universe, my take is that he's probably going to try to expand that in terms of Justice League as well, including the comics. I'm so happy to see Zack so comfortable chatting with you guys. I can see more and more podcasts with him in the horizon, not just about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Congrats. Well, thank you so much, Amparo. It was fun. It was fun to get together with Zack once again. It was such a, yeah, I mean, I certainly am getting more comfortable seeing him on podcasts and streams. So, yeah, you might be right. I mean, I think I am getting comfortable, and Dave is definitely getting comfortable with him as well. So, yeah, I don't know if that could happen. That'd be great. You know, like I said, I'm pretty content with just having him on my show that one time, and if there is another time, great. But I'm not like repeatedly trying to get him on or something like that, or anybody else, you know, because you know I love doing this kind of daily DC news and stuff. But love going on other shows. I love going on Dave the Film Junkie show. Thank you to him for having me on as well. It's just a fun, great time to be with my friends on streams and stuff like that, and just celebrate, you know, movies and DC and you know all this stuff. It's great. It's absolutely awesome. Doobie, when Zack said, so this is, I know you posted a comment on the last video, but because I didn't get to read, I feel bad. I want to read it here. When Zack said the Batfleck F-bomb was earned and during an emotionally stressful situation, did you think of me, or at least my guess? I saw your wheels turning. I thought he remembers. Yeah, I did. I kind of thought that what you said about that. I kind of did. But yeah, I mean, that is earned, right? Like stressful. But I'm still wondering what that would be. Like, what situation would he have to say that? And I would probably think it's gonna be, you know, realistic. It's gonna be like that situation where Steppenwolf is about to, you know, me, you know, and so he goes, oh, shit. So I would expect maybe it's something. I wasn't Steppenwolf. I'm sorry, Doomsday. Doomsday was about to laser him. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, I'm thinking maybe Steppenwolf is about to kill him before he says, "Oh," and then you know that happens. That's my guess in any case. But you know, we'll see. But thank you so much, Doobie, for that comment and everybody's comments and questions as well. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, if you absolutely love this daily dose of DC content, movies, shows, and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, donate down below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.